Hello everyone, just a quick screen share on map testing. The documents that you see in front of you will be emailed and given to you if you don't have them already. So we have the map testing, just general information here about preparing for the test and setting up your test. That's what this section right here is. And then we have information about how to proctor the test right down here. So make sure you read through that information. I will go through some of it later on, but probably not all of it step by step. We have the teacher score sheet where you will write down the tests. So after the tests have been completed by each student, you will go to them and write down their scores after each test. This is their score sheet, so before the tests begin, you'll go through the general information about the map tests with them, and then if the test is specific to math or reading, you will read the information to them that is on this section, and then they will also write down their scores right here. There's the map testing schedule, FAQ sheet that you can read through, and then a troubleshooting sheet that you can read through as well. So to begin with, I do want to show you how to set up the tests. You'll click on nwea.org right here, and I believe I already have that up and ready to go. It is right here. So I'm just going to go through and follow the directions step by step on that first page. So it says log in to the website, hover over login, and click on map skills. So when I do that, my login page comes up. I have my username, which is my email, and my password saved. And you just click login. If you don't have your username and password, I'm sure Mr. Spots has that for you. So we're going to set up our tests. So you're going to click Manage Test Sessions, and then A says click Test My Class, and select your first period class. So select the one that says Period 1 after your class. So I'm going to select that and click Test Now. And then B says select status, and all of my first period students are here, right there. And it says select status, and click all. Click on assign test is step C, and it says choose from the drop down box Growth Math 6+. So you'll notice if you have done this before, it hasn't always said growth here, or it says down below screening. We want to make sure we click growth, and for the math test it's 6+. So I'm going to click that, and I'll also show you while I'm here the reading is right here, growth 6+, and science, when you set that up, it's growth science 6 through 8. And it says that in the directions, but I wanted to point that out as well. So I'm going to choose Math 6+, and then click Assign. That's step D. Then it says it's updating test here. I'm probably going to wait for that to go away. There we go. And then it says then click End Testing Session. And then this comes up, and this is where we're going to rename the test. So under Testing Session Name, we're going to rename it our last name and the subject. So for this one, I'm going to name it Erickson Math. Click Save and Exit. And then it says to repeat steps A through G for Growth Science 6 through 8 and Growth Reading 6+. So I'm not going to go through that for the purposes of this video. I'm going to assume that you can follow those steps. If you have trouble with it, just let me know. I'm going to click on Show, and all of my tests should be set up now. Yeah, so after you create all three tests, they should show up in your saved testing sessions, and also make sure it shows fall 2017-2018 right here. And that should do it for creating the tests. Again, if you're having trouble creating them, just let me know and I'll help you out. So if we go back to actually proctoring the test, I'm going to show just a little bit about that as well. So I'm going to go through these directions just to show some things within the test as well. So I'll go back here, and it says before your class arrives, this is step 1 under proctoring the map test. Log into the NWEA map testing website, click Manage Test Sessions. So I've done that before, but I'll go back to there so you can see what it looks like. Again, here, Manage Test Sessions. Then it says in parentheses, click Show on the far right to view them. So you click here, and after you've set them all up, this is what it looks like again. It says select your test and click Test Now. So I'm going to pretend that I am ready to proctor the math test. So click that test and click Test Now. And then this comes up. And then when they are ready to take the test, students will, so I'm going to kind of skip over step 2, which is greeting the students, taking attendance, making sure you've read everything to them on that their student map test score sheet. So I would have read to them the general information about the map test on their student test score sheet, and then the specific information about the math test. And again, it says here, make sure students have scratch paper and a pencil or pen to use when necessary. So you have to make sure that that is done beforehand. So I guess I'm ready to move on to step 3. Students will sign in on their computers. They open their start menu and select the NWEA lockdown browser, or they can search for it. If they can't find it, they can do a search for NWEA or lockdown browser and it will come up. Then they'll be asked to enter their session name and password, and you are going to write that on the board. And it says right here, my testing session name is Erickson Math, and there is the session password. So you write that on the board, they input that in, and they log in. So as the students log in, their status is going to change from awaiting student to be confirmed. So it won't show that here, but once that happens, you can just click on Confirm Now. So kind of at the bottom of step 3, it says select Confirm to put students in the test. You may have to click Refresh Status and Confirm again to get everyone, and you can just keep clicking Refresh Status, Confirm Now. You could do that every 5 seconds if you want to. Refresh Status and Confirm Now until everybody's taking the test. So they take the test, and again, once they've completed the test, they're going to raise their hand. So you can write down their score, and they can write down their score just in case something messes up within the system. Then at the end of the test, we're going to pretend like our testing time is over. You're going to tell them that you're going to suspend the test, and I usually tell them to finish the problem that they're on, and then I give them 30 or 60 seconds to do that. And then you're going to go ahead and click End Testing Session, and you're going to click Save and Exit. And that should do it for each test. So that is proctoring the test. Again, at this point in time, I don't think there's anything that I could think of that you need to know. Again, look through all of the sheets, especially this student score sheet. You're going to read this testing general information before taking any of the tests, and then before the math test you're going to specifically read this, and before the reading test you're going to specifically read that information as well. The testing schedule includes 15 minutes to kind of get going at the beginning, get them logged in and read the information to them, and then they have 65 minutes to take the math test, And then we have a 15-minute break scheduled, so make sure you look at the schedule. During the break, you'll want to start your science test session so that you can put the test session name and session password on the board, so that when they come back in, they're ready to do that. And I usually tell my kids to be back in here by around 9:18 so that they can sit down and be logged in and going, and they can use their entire 65 minutes. So I guess that would be not 9:18 but 9:33 here before we begin science. So the kids would come back in. I would tell them to be back in by 9:33 so that they can be sat down and logged in. And then again, we take the science test, we have a break, we take the reading test. And that's it. Kids are dismissed for the remainder of the day at noon. If you have any questions at all about anything or are unsure of anything, please let me know. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Thanks.